Okay, I guess we can go ahead and get started. I was hoping that we would have a lot more people here, but since you will record it, hopefully more people will look at it and we can do it again if we need to. Maybe this might have not been a great time for some people. So, welcome. What I would like to do is to present to you some preliminary plans that we have undertaken to uh, prepare for potential high school at Socrates Academy. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I have a presentation. So let me share my screen. Put this here. All right, and you should be able to see this presentation right now. So the purpose of this gathering here is to present to you some work that we've done so far and to listen to questions and thoughts and whatever other advice you may have as parents of the school. So back in January, the board approved, I should go to the next slide. Back in January, the board approved putting together a high school planning task force. And this is the task force right here. These are the people who have been working on this information that I will pass on. There have been other people as well that helped with the financial side of things, but we're not going to present financials tonight. So, but this is the main group right here. So I'm Tony Stiliano, that's my name right there on the top. Dr. Filipakos, Mr. Peroulas, Ms. Baker, Ms. Karatzina, and I think I'm missing someone, and I will apologize. Actually, I will stop and add his name here.
Master Stamoulis as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, I just did this yesterday and I just sent it out and I asked for feedback, but I was gone most of the day today. I had meetings and it was engaged, and so I didn't get back to it. But yeah, that would be a big miss right there. So Dr. Shore from UNC Charlotte and Dr. Orbach, he's the principal of Concord High, and Mr. Stamoulis. And so this is the main group basically who worked on these plans so far. So the board decided that we're going to plan for starting a high school in August 2021. So that would be 9th grade in August 2021, contingent on financial feasibility and adequate parent interest. So in order to do any forecasting for financials, we had to start with the curriculum. We had to start, figuring out what kind of high school we were going to have, the mission, vision, all of that planning, and then the curriculum, and then let the curriculum drive how many classes we're going to have, and what kind of how many teachers we're going to need, how many rooms we're going to need, what kind of building we're going to need, and then drive the financials. So that's the part that we're working on right now. And this is one of multiple, hopefully, conversations that we would like to have with the parents to get input into these plans and make appropriate changes as we go forward. We had presented actually at the last town hall meeting that we had quite a few months back, it seems now, and we had presented some very early plans based on some planning that we had done 5 years ago, but this is more up to date right now. Okay, so what would we like to have in a high school at Socrates Academy? It's not just a matter of putting some additional grades and doing trying to match the average high school in the area. There's plenty of options in Matthews and in the surrounding area for high schools. So we want to do something that's going to be high quality high school that will make us proud and make it a desirable destination for students. The basic focus is university preparation and career readiness. We want the high school to be consistent with the general Socrates Academy mission and vision. I will share with you in just a minute some refining of the mission and the vision that we have worked on based on this work. We want everybody to be graduating and having high standardized scores, being accepted into most of the North Carolina system, including Chapel Hill and NC State and all of the other schools, UNC Charlotte and so on. And we would like something that is accredited. As you know, we have been fairly successful with the K-8, both in terms of standardized tests and recognition by the state and national recognition with the Blue Ribbon Award, as well as now accreditation. So we want to keep those same standards and even add to them, improve from where the K-8 is. So this is the mission for the school: cultivating scholars for impactful global engagement, ethical citizenship, and lifelong learning. So we want to work with the scholars so that they can understand the impact that they can have, not just locally and nationally, but also globally. We want to contribute to creating ethical citizens, and we want to lay the foundation for them to continue learning during their life. This is a little bit more detailed explanation of that mission. I'll just give you a little bit of time to read through it, and I'll highlight a few parts of it. So, as I mentioned, we are focusing on college and career readiness. We want to build on local and global partnerships that we already have and increase those partnerships. So, and of course that includes schools and organizations in Greece, but not only. So there's a global focus. Inspire scholars to reach their full potential, be curious, engage in critical thinking, and we want to emphasize the principles of diversity and equity, equality, and empathy. And multicultural setting with a focus on the Greek language and the Greek cultural heritage. And there's a lot that the students and we all can learn from that foundation, from that is the Greek heritage. So the vision, in order to fulfill that mission, So what we're looking at is building strong personal academic foundations, well-rounded experience, rigorous curriculum, drawing, as I said, on the heritage of the Greek civilization, promote critical thinking, questioning, problem solving, team collaboration, and the Socratic method. So you recognize these things because they're also in the K8. We want a school that will value global engagement and citizenship, social and cultural diversity, inclusion, equity, ethics, environmental awareness, and mutual respect. We want to nurture curiosity in the students and creativity, innovation in the classroom. Encourage teachers to use evidence-based practices and promote the development of all stakeholders, not just the students, but also the faculty and the staff and the families. We want to do this in a safe, positive, respectful school culture. And as I mentioned, again, we want to create collaborations both here and abroad with the governments and organizations and businesses and benefit from those partnerships. The core values that we came up with, and you will notice the board has already approved these, and they should be on the website for the K8 as well. And you will see a lot of them are drawing on that Greek heritage that we discussed before. And of course, that's very natural because the Greek heritage and Greek civilization is the foundation of the Western heritage and civilization. And so this should not be strange for anybody. So Philodimo, that's a tough word to translate, but it basically it's a collection of virtues, including honor and dignity and pride and acting with righteousness and integrity and honor. And R&D, it's very similar. It kind of overlaps a little bit with Philodimo. It's excellence of any kind, moral virtue, and living up to one's potential. And there's a lot of different types of R&D, but so we're using that in a general sense here. Philoxenia, that's hospitality. Very important in Greek culture, and of course it's a good thing. Ethos, that's ethical behavior. Personal responsibility, accountability for your actions and the welfare of the community. Empathy and kindness. Respect of diversity, equity, and justice. Moral courage, and always setting goals that are high, that are achievable, and looking towards continuous improvement, recognizing that we are all work in progress and we can all continue to learn and become better. Key differentiators that we believe will set this school apart from other schools in the area is the immersion in this multilingual, multicultural environment. And of course, if you just focus on just one of these things, you will find other schools that maybe have that same or a similar interest, but it's a collection of things. We also want to offer students the possibility to earn, along with their high school diploma, a global studies diploma. And so that will require a little bit, doing a little bit extra. An opportunity to focus on arts and humanities, or to focus on computers and IT, or to focus on business. And remember, these are plans. We don't know, we could get 40, 50 students, the first year, and then listening to you all, we find that there's a very keen interest in engineering, and we focus on something else. These are our plans on things that we believe are in the best interest of the scholars, and also we believe that they will set up the students for in a good position to continue their studies at university or to go and earn other diplomas and get into a career. So we want to continue focusing on innovative research-based learning strategies and teaching strategies on the other side. And that's something that we emphasize in K-8. A lot of schools don't operate this way. They may have someone who feels strongly about a teaching strategy. It could be a teacher, it could be a principal, or some other administrator or a board member, and they just go with it. We don't operate that way. We want to look at the research behind it. We want to use strategies that are proven, that there's some good support in the literature for them, and they have been studied, and they have been proven to be effective. We want to integrate technology throughout the curriculum. That's something that we also want to do in K-8, and it's a work in progress. We are making progress, but there's a lot of ground still to cover, even in K-8. So we want to start right up from the beginning in the high school with that. And emphasis on the core values. We want to continue to offer small class sizes. That's something that makes Socrates Academy desirable, a small school, safe, disciplined learning environment. Students don't get lost in the cracks. If you go to a big school, it's easy for students to get lost and, problems not to be recognized, issues or needs not to be addressed. We want to continue to have a fairly small school, fairly small class sizes, where like an extended family in a way. Academically rigorous curriculum in a supportive environment. So we're not going to start to discount how rigorous we would like the curriculum to be, but at the same time, we're going to recognize that every one of us at different times on different subjects needs a little bit extra help, a little bit extra nudge to get up to par or to recognize our potential and to start to be more productive or to operate at a higher standard. We talked about the partnerships, so there's some repetition here on this slides. Appreciation of world cultures and languages, and a strong culture of volunteerism in the greater community. So our plan right now, this is what we hope for. Not a plan in the sense that, well, that's what we're planning for, but in order for it to be approved, it's pending on those financials and the strong community support from the existing parents. And so keep adding a grade every year. Okay, so here's the curriculum. The middle column right here is the North Carolina requirements, and these are the proposed Socrates Academy requirements. So English is prescribed by the state, math is prescribed by the state, science the same way, social studies the same way. But since we want to focus on globalization and multicultural and all those good things, there's 6 credits required of all students in this area, and you will see details in a few minutes. And then if you want to get the Global Studies Diploma, in addition to those, you have to complete another 2, and there may be some other requirements as well. We're not ready to present them yet, but not every student will be eligible. So in order to get the Global Studies Diploma, it will be something special. And so for that, it will require, and I'm just speaking on just previous conversations, but this has not been decided yet. So don't take my word 100% on it, but I think it will require certain GPA, and it will have some specific course requirements, and then some other type of activities to be required to earn the diploma. Service learning, I just mentioned on the previous slide about service to the community. So that's something that we will require a certain number of hours, certain projects outside the school. Health and PE, that's the state requirement. And then some electives. So the total is 30 to 32 credit hours, depending on if you get the diploma. So in 4 years, so that's 8 courses a year. And as you will see in a few minutes, we're planning to operate on a semester basis. So that will be 4 courses a semester. So now a little bit more detail about each one of these areas. So here in English, the requirement is 4 courses. And so the state requires English 1, 2, 3, and 4. But we also have the option to substitute English 3 and English 4 with an AP course. So there's those 2 AP courses that are very standard in a lot of high schools. The next area is math. Again, the state has some requirements. We're going to offer Intro to Math, and this would be for occupational studies. So this is for students who are planning, they're planning a career right after high school and are not keen on university studies, perhaps. So that's that course. And also there's a financial management course at the same level. And then you have Math 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, at Socrates, we have students who complete, quite a few students actually, who complete Math 1 in 7th or 8th grade. And we have a smaller number that also complete Math 2 by 8th grade. And so for those students will be able to jump onto Math 3 from the first year, and then progress from there. So if they jump onto Math 3 from the first year, they can go on and earn additional math credit with Math 4, or go on to AP Calculus, AB and BC, or AP Statistics. And you will see we also have on a number of the slides that will follow, we're going to allow students to take some courses, even if we don't offer them at Socrates, to take them through the North Carolina virtual school. And so these are courses that are offered through the state of North Carolina, and they're available to all schools, all public schools in the state. And there's quite a variety. And of course, here we're going to want to approve them on an individual basis and for students. And they're most of them are recorded, so they're asynchronous. So students will be able to take them anytime. So if a student wants to take, they've gone through the required math sequence, and they want to take an elective, and we don't offer that elective, and they want to take it, they can build it into their schedule for that semester, and they can sit in the library or sit somewhere in the school and be able to take that course. And then similar case for science, earth and environmental is something that some schools offer it in 8th grade. We have not in Socrates, but once we get on to this with the high school, there's a possibility that we might make this available to 8th grade as well. We'll see how that works. And then biology, chemistry, physics, and a good selection of AP courses plus the North Carolina Virtual School. And then social studies, again, the state requires 4, and the 4 that are required are American history, world history, US history, and then this personal financial literacy course. And so, but we're going to plan for some substitutions. And so instead of taking world history, a student might take the AP world history. Instead of taking US history, they may take the AP US history. And then we have some electives that fit under social studies and also fit under the global studies as well, like global geography or human geography and so on. Then in global studies, we have the languages. And so Greek is, of course, a big part of Socrates, so that's going to still stay there. These first 2 that you see here, Greek 1 and Greek 2, and we can talk a little bit about it, but we have not decided yet if this high school, if this 9th grade will be available only to Socrates Academy students. Depending on how much interest we have, our preference would be to keep it in-house. The students have been, to students who have already been to K-8, and so they understand Socrates, they understand the culture, they understand the rules, they understand the importance of discipline. We don't, public schools, you go to some public schools, I have friends who teach there, and they tell me they spend, 20, 30, 40% of the class time on discipline. We don't have that at Socrates, and we don't want to start having those kinds of issues in high school. So, but if on the other side, if we don't have enough interest from within, we're going to explore, and if this is going to make the difference, we're going to explore having students from the outside as well. And of course, students from the outside doesn't mean that they're always going to be problem students. We may be able to attract some really good students. We don't know that. But all said and done, the preference would be to keep it in-house if we can. But if we have students from the outside, obviously, it's very strong chances they haven't had Greek before. So we're planning to offer Greek 1 and Greek 2 in the summer. Now, this might also be something that someone who joins Socrates in 6th grade or 7th or 8th grade, and maybe they don't feel so strong with their Greek, they may want to take these summer courses. And then, so we anticipate that most of the students will start with either with Greek 3 or Greek 4, and then go to Greek 5, and then take Greek Heritage 1 and Greek Heritage 2. And then we have some other courses here that fit under this global studies, history of philosophy, could be taught in Greek, could be taught in English, no decision there yet, but it's here. And then, of course, our students also take Chinese and Spanish. And so we want to give them a chance to continue on studying those languages as well. And then health and PE, that's the standard course. And then electives. And of course, electives will depend on student interest. Planning for a small school, we're not going to be able to offer 50 electives. We'll have a smaller selection. And so we're going to have to plan ahead of time, figure out, put some possibilities and see where the interest is, and then eliminate some of them. And so, but in general, the way we're planning right now is to have some arts and humanities types of electives, and then some computers and IT type of electives, and then some business electives. And those were the 3 tracks that I mentioned up front. And so this is a sample 4-year plan of what it might look like for a student, just a sample plan. And so again, this on the left side are the requirements, and then you can imagine this as being broken into 2, 4, and 4 for the first semester, for the second semester. And here's the legend right down here at the bottom. So the purple color are required by the state, the blue is required by Socrates, the green are electives. And as I mentioned earlier, the Global Studies Diploma has 2 more required. So they're right here, 2 additional electives required. And I'll give you a chance to have a look at that before going on. And I realize you may have some questions, and so I appreciate your patience. And in just a few minutes, as soon as I finish, you can ask your questions, and I'll put the slides back on if you would like to focus on one of the slides. All right, so the one part of the planning is the curriculum. The second part of the planning is we're gonna need to have appropriate facilities for a K-12 school. So there's a lot of work that is being done right now already. We have broken the work down into phase 1, phase 1B, and phase 2, and so on. And phase 1 and 1B are primarily targeted to K-8, but they have implications for high school as well. So you see the existing buildings. So the elementary school building and what we call the media center right here, the middle school building and the gym right here, and the playground is right here, and then we have the pond. So, the first phase that is already we have had for several months already conversations both with engineers and an architect, and we have been planning on that. We want to address the playground. So we're going to have a bigger playground that's going to be right here. That's one thing. The second is we would like to have a good a sports field. As you know, the one we have there, is barely enough, just to practice a little bit.
Sorry, so, Adonis, I'm sorry. The playground is not there. It's the classrooms.
Oh, classroom. So playground right here.
It's underneath the old playground. So
yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So right here. Yeah. Sorry, I was pointing to the wrong place. Thank you, Mr. Burles. And so the soccer field is going to be right here. Now, when you look at this, of course, you know that the school owns already the property that the existing buildings are on right now. I don't know if you all know the history in the last a few years, but the school also bought this property right here that extends all the way right here to this edge. And there's an old house that is on it right now. It's right here that we're going to do away with it. And most recently, the school bought this triangle that's down here at the bottom from the church next door. That's going to allow us to have this sports facility, but for phase one, it's going to be a field, a soccer field, and some. Um, uh, I'm not sure, if we're going to have a formal track right up front. That might be something, that's for later, but definitely the students will have the ability to do practice for running, for running type of sports. And so that's so phase one, 1B, and so on. They include those parts, and also as you know, we have had for many years K-8 4 classes, four sections per grade. And now we have a fifth one in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and we're going to continue to add a fifth class all the way to eighth grade. And so we're going to need more classrooms in order for us to be able to do that. And there we have a plan, and we have architectural plan and engineering plan to add some classrooms to the middle school. So we're going to be adding some classrooms to the middle school. Another thing that we want to address with the phase one, 1B is the drop off and pick up to relieve congestion. And so there's going to be some roads that will be built already. And so this is Simfield Road right here. So we already have one entry point right here, and there's going to be another entry point right here. And the road, the road will go this way like this. And I'm not going to go over the pattern for pickup right now, but if we end up going forward with high school, there's a plan for how that's going to work. But even if we don't have the high school yet, these plans and this work is going to contribute greatly to relieving congestion and making it much easier to pick up and drop off for the lower school and the middle school. Now to high school, what we have is we have some concept drawings at this point. We have a program that we worked with an architect on how many classrooms, how many offices, how many labs, at full strength, the high school is not going to have more than 400 students. But initially a lot less than that, of course. And it might take a number of years, even beyond the first 4 years, it might take a number of years to have full strength high school. It could take 6, 8 years, even more, maybe, I don't know. So
Doris, I would like to ask you to speed up a little bit because we have 15 more minutes. Can you turn around this building, this high school?
the what?
Can you turn it around so people can see the building, the high school?
No, I don't have a lot more slides. I'm almost done.
Oh, okay, okay.
I will try to speed up. So what you see here is the plaza. You see a lot of interesting elements, and I will share with you, hopefully, a few more of the pictures. I think that's that first one. So let me go back. And these are large files, so they take a little bit to show. And so what you see here is the plaza from the previous one. Sorry, it keeps bouncing around. On the right side is a black box theater, and all the way to the left, you see the clock tower, and there's a gym right there.
We don't see anything.
You don't see anything?
No.
Does anybody see anything?
Does anybody see?
I just see
No.
high school
No.
facility.
Okay.
You're not able to see. Okay, well, I apologize for that. It might be because these are very large files, and maybe Zoom is having difficulty, but I did put it on that same screen that I'm sharing. But we'll get this out. We'll get this out to people so that you can see. Just based on this first one that you see right here on the side is a black box theater. A little bit further behind this building right here, there's a gym as well. So this will be really state-of-the-art, really nice facilities, very, very nice facilities. I would say much better than any high school around, maybe some of the very expensive private high schools. So decision factors for moving forward, obviously student enrollment is very important. So, you know, we're gonna see how much interest there is. Organic growth from inside, but maybe people from the outside as well. Financial is critical. And the Socrates Academy family commitment and engagement. Obviously, I mentioned an athletic program, and you have seen some facility even here a little bit, but we're going to have a plan for stands. And once we have a soccer field, that can be used for other sports as well. It says football right here. To be honest with you, I'm not a proponent of football. So, you know, say lacrosse, field hockey, you know, whatever. You can do a lot of stuff on this field. And of course, you can have field and track type of events, classical types of sports in this same facility. So we realize, you know, athletics are important to high school students. And so what we're going to do next is some sort of a survey to reach out to all the 8th graders and maybe even go further back. I'm not sure. Right now, we just talked about the 8th graders and see what the interest is. You know, obviously, if people are not interested and there's not enough families that are interested, you know, then that will be very disappointing, but we won't be able to proceed. And then the financials are critical. So we're going to start by having these architectural plans, you know, to start to do campaign both inside the school and outside, and national campaign to see what we can raise, what kind of funding we can raise to see if we're going to be able to build this kind of building. The building I just showed you, one current plan has it up to 80,000 square feet. And so that could be $14, $15 million building. You know, with the athletic facility just by itself, if you want to do a real nice thing, it could cost $1 million, $1.5 million. So these are pretty expensive endeavors, and we're not going to put the K-8 at risk by going into them blindly. We want to make a really decision that's based on strong financials. And that's all I have. So I'm gonna go back to the this right here, and I will open it up for questions.
Thank you, Dr. Stiliano.
You're welcome. So if you have a question, please unmute.
Yes, there is one, Tony,
or
from,
you can type it in the chat if you like, and then perhaps someone who is monitoring the chat can ask it.
There's a first question from Miss Lackey, and she asked if there is not enough interest to open in 2021, will the BOD try again the high school in 2022?
I think I can answer that. We tried this 5 years ago, and the board decided we were not ready based on the financials. We've done a lot more work since then. We have bought the land, which was part of the financial calculation back then. We have increased the number of sections in K-8 already some, so that increases the pool of potential students, and also it improves the financials somewhat. So my feeling is that, yeah, I mean, the K-12 has been our dream from the very beginning, and so we're not going to give up on it very easily, but we're hoping to go forward with it as soon as possible. But if it's not possible the first year, I am 100% sure we will revisit.
The next question, what is the minimum number of students enrolling you are hoping to get?
I'm not sure if there was, if there is a minimum that we're hoping. Obviously, we want as many students as possible, but I can tell you that some of the financial scenario that I have been working on, we're looking at about 40, 45 students from Socrates. I think few, and then if there's fewer than that, there's the potential to open it to the outside, but it's very difficult to operate a grade with much less than that.
The next question is, where will the kids have classes next year if there is enough interest? And then also, is it end of year a little late to make a decision for parents needing to make a decision on high school?
Okay, so those are all very good questions. So we want to move forward as quickly as possible. Now, being able to have a complete building for 9th grade might not be possible. I don't know. It could be that we run the survey next week and we find that all the 8th graders want to come to Socrates High School, and it makes the calculation easy, the financials work out, and we tell the architect, just go ahead, have our plans for us, and the goal is to have the building built by next August. Chances are, you know, that's a lot of dreams that may not materialize. So when you look at the plan right here, there's some space right here that we could, for a short term, could start with some modulars. Our preference is as soon as possible to have a high school building. But if the financials don't support that, or the timing is not making it possible, the alternative facility would be modulars. And of course, there's lots of schools that have modulars, and some of the modulars you can't even tell once you go inside. They look just as nice as the building, but we really do want to have a building as soon as we can have a building. But there's some space to start right here, even while work is being done here. And of course, the K-8 expansion, the middle school expansion in this building is going to add 3-4 classrooms here that might not be needed right away for middle school. And so that's a possibility as well.
The next question, we've been hoping for this for 8 years. What can we do to help make this a reality?
Okay. And I teach in the business school, as some of you may know. So for me, this is a business, really. I mean, it's more than that. It's a lot more than that, but it's a business. And as you know, most charter schools fail because of financials. And I'm going to make my darnest to make sure that Socrates doesn't fail because of financials. So I want to make sure the financials are solid. So what parents can do is to get additional parents to be interested in, and then help us raise money for it. And of course, we're open to any good ideas about the curriculum, about anything. But you know, I think we have a lot of really good people who. Sorry, my cat is complaining. So we have a lot of really good people who are focusing on the curriculum and people with experience. So we have several different academics and a high school principal. So where we need help is on the financials. And I'll tell you, another part is in managing all these projects, we need more people on our Socrates Academy Foundation. We need people with project management experience. We need people with financial experience. We need people with fundraising experience, because a lot of this, the planning, the curriculum is done by mostly people from the Socrates Academy Board of Directors, and also other teachers and principal and the Greek studies director and others that we recruited from the outside. But the foundation needs more help because it's the foundation that's managing the building projects. And so, as you can imagine, these are pretty large projects. And so help at the foundation, recruit other parents, and help us fundraise.
There's another question about the leadership structure. I think they're asking, will there be additional administrators for the high school?
Excellent, very good question. All of the questions are excellent, so thank you for asking them. So yes, we're going to have a separate principal for the high school. And at that time, we will also, once the high school is a little bit established, you know, maybe consider the possibility of a headmaster for the whole K-12. But, you know, that's just me talking on that last part, but definitely a separate principal for the high school.
When will construction begin on carpool relief?
That's already part, the plans for that have been approved by the city, and the engineer is making some final changes to those plans. And I don't know when exactly they will begin, but all of those projects will be available for next year, hopefully before then, the roads. But I think one of the first things that they do, I'm not a construction person, so I can't tell you exactly, but it's leveling the land. And once you level the land, because you're gonna want, even the contractors are gonna want access to different parts of the lots, the land that we have. And so one of the first things that they usually build are the roads. So I imagine that may actually be available before, but since there's going to be construction going, so I'm not sure if all of that will be available for the K-8 already this year. because part of that road work will be used for the construction of the high school, hopefully. And lots of parking, by the way, too. A lot of extra parking is a plan on that.
So that's all the questions I have in the chat right now.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. I'm going to stop the sharing of my screen then, and give another minute or so in case someone has a last minute question. And any kind of thoughts, or if any of you think about something later on, please don't hesitate. Communicate with us. You can write to any of us, or write to Ms. Baker, and any concerns you may have, or ideas or thoughts, or you want to volunteer. Like I said, we really need more help at the foundation.
One more question came in. How soon will parents know if the high school is a go?
It might not be until the end of this calendar year, but I realize if we miss that window, would just make it that much more difficult, for the school to be a go, because a lot of parents want to make commitments, of course, already, looking for where their kids are going to go. So if Socrates is not going to be there, we understand that you're going to be looking at other options as well. We just ask you to consider Socrates as well. And if this is an option for you, if you're satisfied with the K-8, and you can stand behind these plans, let us know, help us, get enough interest from the 8th graders, to consider this school. And I'm sure just like anything else that you do, you look at multiple options, and if this becomes unavailable, you can always switch gears and think about one of the other options.
That was the, Dr. Stiliano, can I say a few things, please? Okay, this is an effort done by the curriculum committee. They work very hard. We all work very hard, all the board members, to present this to you and have the opportunity for the next month to make a decision, either to really tell us that you are going to attend our high school, or you look for other opportunities. As we said, as Dr. Stiliano said, we are aiming at least a minimum 40 to 45 students in-house to start our high school. The rest, the classrooms and the rest will be ready. We made tremendous efforts to have all of these plans with the architect, and we will send you, I think Dr. Stiliano by tomorrow will send them the questionnaire, so parents can have the opportunity.
I don't know if it's going to be ready by tomorrow.
When it's going to be, that's what I think.
It might be a couple of days.
Okay, all right. So they can have 10 days to reply, and then we may have another town hall meeting if parents, request that, so we can have more of their input, and also what we have done so far and where we're standing. Right now, the plans for the phase 1 and phase 1B and the high school as well, the rendering is going to do the rendering, and we will also have the opportunity to send you the whole our whole marketing campaign, including all the buildings there and what we have to do and how we do it, and how long we'll do it.
Okay, so we've gone past our allotted time, so just being respectful for everybody's time, we'll bring this to a close unless there's any last minute question, your last chance, for today at least. Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and we will appreciate your support. Thank you.